Hey, what's good? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm going to do a review of the new Westside Gunn album entitled Pray for Paris. Let's get to it. Westside Gunn is a rapper, record label CEO, fashion designer, and one third of the Buffalo rap trio Griselda. Westside Gunn, being the most prolific member within the crew, has dropped another new project. This comes immediately after his recovery from the coronavirus. Gunn and his Griselda team have seen quite an impressive build-up within the past year or so. All members have dropped very well-received projects such as Gunn's Hitler Wears Hermes 7, Benny the Butcher's Plugs I Met, Conway's Lulu EP, and of course their Shady Records debut album, WWCD. While the stars have been aligned for Griselda's grassroots success for some time now, it has become increasingly more apparent with each new release and business deal that the trio are edging their way closer to the top of the rap game, brick by brick. That is, of course, no pun intended. And we can credit a great deal of this evolution to Westside Gunn's vision as the CEO. He's the creative genius and curator who understands that marketing and branding are just as important to Griselda's success as their actual musical catalog. I mean, for example, there are Pray for Paris art prints that are going for over $1,000 on eBay at the moment. That being said, with Griselda, it's more than just the music. It's a whole movement and vibe and aesthetic that successfully blends elements of hardcore and authentic New York hip hop with high-end fashion, the luxurious lifestyle, wrestling, and of course, mafioso coke rap. So, with respect to this new project, Pray for Paris, it feels like a natural progression from the already ambitious Hitler Wears Hermes from 2019. That album kind of laid the groundwork for this new one in that it gave us a glimpse at what a slightly more polished and focused Griselda project would sound like. However, with Pray for Paris, it's clear right off the bat that this is Gunn's most ambitious and fully developed project to date. The production choices are richer, more colorful, and even more polished than previous releases. It even features a couple of mainstream artists such as Wale and Tyler the Creator, but hardcore fans should not be concerned as Gunn has managed to, I think, tastefully branch out without straight up selling out. This project contains 13 tracks and lasts approximately 40 minutes, which definitely gives it more of an album feel. Initially, this was only supposed to have been an EP that was inspired by Gunn's trip to Paris, but it later developed into a full album. But anyway, let me get into a track-by-track breakdown. The opening skit, 400 million plus tax, sets a tone of extravagance right from the jump. It gives you the feeling that you are about to vicariously experience Gunn's opulent lifestyle. On No Vacancy, which is the first actual track, Gunn sounds somewhat majestic, flowing over this luxurious and smooth DJ Muggs production. I think this is one of the most elegant Muggs instrumentals I've heard, as he's traditionally known for his darker, moodier, and grimier material. I do like this vibe. It feels refreshing, even though it is a rather laid-back way to begin a Griselda album, but it's all about capturing the mood, and I think Gunn succeeds in doing just that. We get a quirky piano-inflicted boom-bap beat with the track George Bondo. This was produced by Derringer and Beat Butcha. I feel like these first two tracks really blended well together sonically. The piano production on both was superb. This track features all three Griselda MCs, but it was mainly Conway and Benny who had the standout bars. Conway states, "My life is definitely changing. Rock Nation brunch. I'm with an R&B singer getting better acquainted." Obviously, the R&B singer he's referring to is Rihanna, so Conway has definitely leveled the fuck up. I thought Benny's I Get You Whacked at the Venetian for Blasphemous Speaking was classic mafioso. His whole verse was pretty much fire, but I particularly dug how he ended it with, yeah, this for the corners that we anointed, opened up with a small group of soldiers that I appointed. I'm up now due to all the bullshit that I avoided. She suck, fuck, count up the money, but still annoying. Next up is 327, which is one of the more diverse songs on the tape in that not only are we getting some really soothing and refined boom bap, but we also have a pretty melodic chorus from Joey Badass as well as a good Tyler the Creator verse. These ingredients all point to Gunn's attempt to branch out somewhat, and I think the end result was a good one. I thought Joey and Tyler were great additions to this track. And I think it's entirely possible that Gunn could accrue some new fans as a result of this collaboration. This is followed up by French Toast, which is another exquisite piece of luxurious boom bap. The instrumental provided by Camo Monk is very luminous and pretty. Not exactly the type of production expected from Griselda, but I feel it works for the whole fly and international aesthetic that Gunn had going on. The Wale feature was pretty big, but I'd imagine that fans of the more rugged sound are likely to be dissatisfied with this one. However, my only gripe was that I thought the song was a little too long. In fact, I would have preferred if French Toast would have swapped lengths with the following track, Eurostep. The instrumental on Eurostep is so wavy and vibe-inducing. It's a damn shame that it's so short, but in terms of production, it is the most flavorful on the album. I gotta say it again that I'm really digging this instrumental. Things get a little more eerie sounding on the Derringer produced Allah Sent Me. This showcases more of the great chemistry between the trio that we saw on the Griselda album, and actually sonically this one feels like it could have fit onto that project as well. However, I would say if you were displeased with the lighthearted and glossy sounds of French Toast, then you will probably appreciate the more menacing feel on Allah Sent Me, yet personally I like the balance of both. Afterwards is the Alchemist produced $500 Ounces, which is a real highlight that is sure to please fans of traditional coke rap or mafioso rap. And while the guest features Gangsta Gibbs and Rock Marciano provide some very vivid drug dealing imagery, it is to me the beat that is the most captivating part to this track, as the instrumental really feels like a cross between 70s blaxploitation soul and Raekwon's The Purple Tape, or perhaps maybe Ghostface's Iron Man. We get a pretty impressive gospel/soul sample on Versace. Now this is pretty characteristic for Gunn to rap over these drumless loops, but this time around it feels more epic and larger than life. I think this beat actually shits on anything found on Kanye's Jesus is King if we're talking soul and gospel samples. Lyrically, Gunn is talking his fly shit, which isn't always the most coherent. However, I thought the following lines were actually pretty slick. Got the stove with the rose gold pilot, peeped the science on the island, and we cook and work to violins. Brick of coke pioneers. It does seem to capture the essence of this extravagant drug lord. The following track, Claiborne Kick, produced by The Alchemist, is minimalism at its finest. The chopped and screwed refrain works well to offset the hazy and faint guitar production. It just made the track feel super arty. Boldy's crime raps on this track seem much more intricate and astute than anything on The Price of Tea in China, and while I like that album a lot, these street bars are definitely sharper. I think the whole verse is basically a quotable. This Alchemist beat is also so low key, but it's very hypnotizing and dreamlike nonetheless. Meanwhile, the tempo picks up slightly on the DJ Premier produced Shawn vs. Flair. This contains some prodigy of Mobb Deep vocal scratches, which brings an element of grittiness and nostalgia to an otherwise polished Primo beat. It is the perfect example of rugged yet smooth production from DJ Premier. The mixture of synths and boom bap definitely adds some more flavor to an already colorful soundscape. Traditionalists and hardcore fans are likely to give praise. The record Party with Pop Smoke not only has an interesting title, but it also features one of the dopest samples on the album. I have to admit that I was initially surprised to find that Tyler was able to tailor his production to fit so well with the Griselda sound. In addition, Griselda's first lady, Keisha Plum, stole the show with yet another one of her bone-chilling spoken word pieces. This added a layer of carnage to the very gorgeous soul instrumental. This LP closes out with an impressive track that I can't really pronounce. However, I do know that it was named after a restaurant in Paris. The soul sample is pretty splendid, but the most striking part to this track is when Gunn talks about tap dancing on Bags of Blow. What immediately follows is the sound of someone actually tap dancing. This is not only hilarious, but there is something also sinister and decadent about it too. Just envisioning a room with all of this going on, it's definitely giving me Ray and Ghost vibes for sure. Overall, I give this album a rating of 4.4 out of 5. While Supreme Blind Tell is hard to top for purists, I think Pray for Paris is his most focused and diversified body of work yet. This time around, he understood the need for using outside collaborators while still remaining true to the in-house Griselda sound. It's a delicate balance for one to try, but I think Gunn pulled it off pretty well, as his ability to blend hardcore hip-hop with refined luxury rap was pretty top-notch. It's not always an easy thing to do, especially when you are known for making a specific sound of music, but I think he took some gradual risks that paid off. It will, though, be interesting to see if Benny and Conway decide to follow a similar path on their next few respective releases. This was also Gunn's best produced album by far. I can't name any instrumental that I didn't like. I think the production choices really helped to capture the fly mood that he was striving for. Now, if you were to base this album off pure aesthetics alone, then I could see why you would want to rate it even higher. However, lyrics and songwriting still matter. Don't get me wrong, I thought that Gunn's flow and energy was pretty on point throughout. I think it's fair to say that he has stepped up his bars somewhat. Although it's also necessary to point out that he still struggles to stay on topic and really give us much in terms of introspection. However, I was pleased to see that he was able to add in choruses and bridges on some of these songs. This was definitely an improvement from the last two projects. At the end of the day, I'm not sure if Pray for Paris is a game changer, but it is indeed a step in the right direction in terms of Griselda's gradual progression from the underground to more of rap's mainstream. I also think this album will lessen the critics' concerns that Griselda can only make one type of music, which is for the underground. I can only see things getting bigger and brighter for them as a unit as long as they stick to the current script and continue to focus on making quality street music. My favorite tracks include George Bondo, 327, Eurostep, $500 Ounces, Claiborne Kick, Shawn vs. Flair, and Party with Pop Smoke. Let me know what you thought of this album in the comment section below. Was this project dope? Was it a nope? What should I check out next? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit the like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Westside Gunn, Pray for Paris, and remember that if Westside Gunn can do this after recovering from the coronavirus, then you can do great things too. One.